Okay, hello everyone, and welcome back to Common English Mistakes. Don't just learn, improve. So today's mistake comes from an advert which I saw on Facebook for my favorite country, Nepal. And in this advert, a word with the correct meaning was used, but it wasn't appropriate for the context or situation, what we call appropriacy. This is quite a big issue in language, in English, because you might learn one word with a particular meaning, but there are 4 or 5 synonyms which are all used in quite specific ways. You also may have similar words in your own language, which also have a different meaning. So we're going to look at these various synonyms for the same general area and how we use each one. I've also got some nice collocations which you can use, which are going to make you sound nice and natural. So I'll show you what they wrote in a minute. Firstly, I've got a similar mistake up here. The atmosphere in my city is very polluted. So just pause the video, see if you can correct the sentence. And well done if you said the air in my city is very polluted. So when we talk about the gases which surround the earth, and most importantly that we breathe, we're going to use the word air. Like the example or the opposite, thankfully in a lot of cities the air is getting cleaner. You could also use it associating with weather. So the air in the deserts is very dry, the air in the tropics is very humid. But again, focusing on what surrounds us, you can talk about the air in a room. So for example, I've been in the office all day. I'm going to get some fresh air outside, or the opposite, air which is very old, hasn't been ventilated in a long time. I'm sure you'll all agree, air in a classroom in summer is quite stuffy. So then going back to this mistake which I saw, it was an advert to visit Nepal in November, and they were saying the atmosphere at this time of year is very clear. So just pause the video, try to correct this sentence. And well done here if you said the sky is very clear at this time of year. So when we want to basically talk about the opposite of cloudy, when you can see a lot of things, very good views, you're going to use the sky. The sky is very clear, but people also use this in the plural. The skies are very clear at this time of year. So going back to our original word, atmosphere, as you can see, the meaning is pretty much the same. The difference here is you're talking about the whole Earth. And you're going to use this in more of a scientific way. The atmosphere is 78% nitrogen, 21% oxygen, 1% other. Or it's generally accepted that the atmosphere is getting warmer. But maybe what's more useful for you is to talk about the feeling or mood in a place related to people and how people are feeling. So for example, you might say the atmosphere at work is great. Everyone gets on really well, very friendly to each other. The opposite, the atmosphere at work is terrible. Everyone hates each other. A very good collocation there is talking about a toxic atmosphere. This one's very common to hear these days. And you can talk about atmospheres in other places. For example, the atmosphere at the concerts was amazing. Could also here talk about an electric atmosphere. Again, nice collocation. Or the opposite, the atmosphere at the party was very awkward. No one was talking to each other. And finally, in a more informal context, like those last two, you can talk about a vibe of a place, which basically has the same meaning. So let's move on now to another mistake, which I hear a lot, saying this: the climate is very hot today. Pause the video, see if you can correct this one. And well done if you said the weather is very hot today. So if you're watching this channel, I'm pretty sure you're familiar with weather. Sunny, rainy, hot, etc. Specific day, specific place. That being said, just pause the video, look at these three sentences and think, what are we talking when we say climate? And well done if you said this is the general weather of a place over a long period of time. And often these are much bigger places, like countries, continents, areas of the world. When you want to talk about a small area, like a city, a nice little expression is this one, microclimate. My hometown, Cambridge, has a little microclimate. It's often sunny, where everywhere else is raining. And again, another meaning which might be quite useful for you is talking about the feeling or mood of a situation. And there's one main one which you might need to know, which is the economic climate or situation. So the economic climate at the moment is very uncertain. People, economists, don't know what's going to happen, and people are quite nervous. So moving on to our last couple of words, this is something I've heard a lot in the past. The environment around my city is very beautiful. So finally, just pause the video, try to correct this one. And well done if you said the scenery around my city is very beautiful. So when we're talking about the natural features of a place, mountains, lakes, forests, etc., we're going to use the word scenery, as opposed to things in cities, in the human world. When we talk about environment, the meaning is again pretty much the same, but the context is in relation to humans and how we interact. So for example, classic example, recycling is a good way to help the environment. But again, there is another meaning which is talking about the area, place surrounding a person. So for example, someone might ask you, what is your working environment like? Do you work at a desk, in a private office? Myself, I can't work in a noisy environment, place with a lot of noise. And I think we all agree that children need a calm, stable environment to grow up in. So anyway, that's the end of the words and their different meanings. As you can see, there are many different ways to say something surrounding something else. So it is important to study this, make sure you know the difference. But anyway, explanation over. As ever, guys, if you've learned something from today's video, found it useful, do make sure to like, subscribe, share the video with your friends. Word of mouth, telling other people, really, really important, and I would much appreciate it. When you're ready, let's practice and improve. Just pause the video and put either a word or phrase, collocation from today's lesson into these sentences. And well done if you said the climate in my country is hot in summer and mild in winter. I go to the beach to get fresh air. And then if there's a toxic atmosphere at work, you should avoid it. Then taking short showers is one way to protect the environment. The perfect weather for me is 24 degrees and sunny. And finally, the sky is usually clear in my city in July. So now just write, say, or discuss the same sentences for you. And finally, today's question, what place in your city has a great atmosphere? So do write your answers in the comments, guys. A good way to practice a really nice, natural piece of language. Anyway, other than that, hope that was useful. Do try and learn those differences, and I'll see you in another video in the next couple of days. Until next time, see ya.